see a lot of volatility here this morning, which I'm pretty pleased this morning for the fact that we came up from yesterday. Not everything did. Like Lania's down about 3% on the day, I noticed. There's a few things like Epic is down a little bit. But like as far as XRP to just get the talk started at least. XRP's found itself up about 3.5% right now. We hit the first resistance at $2.52 perfectly. So now it begs the question, what are we trying to do here? It looks like we created a little bit of a rounding bottom formation in terms of this cup and handle that this inverse head and shoulders we were talking about yesterday. Left shoulder, head, right. Let me do it like this to make it easier if you're new. If you are watching, make sure to hit that like button too if you're watching, just so we can try to expand our viewing audience. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. As we continue to gain and lose people at the same time, we'll go through a volatile spike eventually, but we get stuck in areas over and over. So, let's see. I want to get the arrow out. I don't know why I grabbed that. They switched how this is. Oh, here's my arrow. So, right here we formed an inverse left shoulder, inverse head, inverse right shoulder, breakout, back test now would probably be, I don't want to do it by the hourly because we already held and broke. 2 hourly we came up to. Back test, first area looks like right around this 247-ish right here. Okay, so we're coming down to that first little area. So that makes sense what we're doing. We're a little overbought. And the stochastic RSI is still fine, but stochastic is more sensitive, as you know. 4 hourly in the overbought. Daily's got a lot of room to run still, though, in the stochastic, which actually it's come up now a little bit. Okay, well, that makes it interesting. It's not extended. Weekly's oversold now, so this is all in a chaotic structure now. I'm still looking, like we said yesterday, what I'm looking for right now, and you see the volume increase there, which is kind of nice to see in that last 2 hour candle. But what I'm looking for, and it's no different than yesterday, it was the roundup, not that particular one, even though we drew that out. What we want to see, because I need to show this to especially the newer viewers. We want to see if this inverse head and shoulders, if we're going to break out of this short-term consolidation, which I think we need to, even if we don't break up at this exact moment and we consolidate, I still feel like we need to come up, as I drew out, and retest that breakdown. We had a 5-wave correction there, and on the 5th wave, we just fell out. So now we need to retest the drop point. That's just my opinion. That's nobody else's. Like, I don't know. I can't tell you what somebody else is saying. I really don't care what somebody else is saying, to be honest with you. If I put too much weight on what anybody else is thinking, it's just not going to go my way. So what we're seeing is I think we need to retest out of here. But listen, even if we didn't break here, we could always come all the way back down to 225. And then this still is the same thing as we try to break out of here to retest that structure. But typically, you would break out to do this kind of a retest if it's bullish at about 70% of the move. Yes, it occasionally will go all the way. But typically, if you're going to have a breakout in direction to go for a back test, it usually does it around 70%. So we're getting very close to that threshold. And it still seems to me that that's more pennant flag-esque rather than bear flag-esque. So, like, it looks more like a bull pennant just because of the extended wick down. Obviously, if we take the wick away and we take it from up here, well, then it turns into something different. But it feels like, to me, because we wiped out all that bottom side liquidity, we still need to retest where we had that 5-wave breakdown. And then we'll see if we can come back in the pattern at 265, 266-ish. And then if we get back in there, then it's no harm, no foul. I'm like, oh, my God. This flag that we were creating here, which honestly, you can't even call it a pennant anymore because it broke down. But we were assuming it was a bear pennant anyhow. We thought we were going to break down into the broadening wedge, which we did. So we knew that that was a bearish setup because it was a 5-wave corrective. We just didn't know how fast it was going to come down, and it came all the way down in a heartbeat. You know, and that's still something to be desired because that's what put us on the right track. And I know everybody's so confused by it, but it did. That liquidity scare has now put us into such fear. Nobody would even buy this entire rally, even though it looks like an inverse head and shoulders. Yesterday, it just sat here. We're on at 239 yesterday, and I even came on and said, even if you're sitting here, and depending on exchange, because they'll go for a hunt, you're probably, and I hate saying leverage, but I was talking to the audience, because most people do 35x. It's just, that's what they do. Don't ask me why, but that's the most popular leverage. And what I think, it's because retail doesn't have a lot of money if you're using leverage for the most part. This isn't for everybody, but a majority of the newbies will use, let's just say $100. And they're like, oh, well, if I do 35x, it's like I'm dropping in 3,500. And that's why I think it's like that. So think about it. If XRP's at 25 cents, or $2.39 yesterday, if you've only put in $500-600, you're going to have to raise that leverage up to like a 36x leverage, 35x. So I can understand trying to stay on the boat, or let's just make it easier. You have $1,000 and you really want to own 10,000 tokens, and it's at $2.39. So now I got to do 24x. You were fine yesterday, and that's what I was trying to say. On this run up today, you should be fine, but at 252 is when you got to make the decision, the first decision. And that's where we just hit right there twice. So I'm happy with that. I think it was a little, but I said 252, but you can see the top came right there. So it's this pattern formation, though, that you have to pay attention to. Is that 250 in current times? We don't know where it's going to be. Yesterday when we were doing this, it was like, yeah, it was around there. But it was around this consolidation right in here at 239.5. And I said, I don't like talking leverage, but I know some of you are going to be doing it. And look, I can show you an example on one exchange. If you were using 35x, well, there's probably more than one. But on this particular exchange, the way it dove down before this rally up, it's exactly what they do to do the liquidity strikes. So let's see. Right here. This came down. And we were talking at 239. I don't remember what time. Right around here. During the live yesterday. It was right around here yesterday night. And we said we should be okay. Now, this particular exchange came down to 233. So, we said 25x, okay, but watch what happens here. From 239, it was like right around there. You were still fine. But they still put out a liquidity strike here of 2.64%. So anybody on 50x gone, 40x gone, 35x, you were fine. But man, were you sweating bullets on this exchange. Over 600 horsepower, 1,000 pound-feet of torque, lots of power. Sweating fucking bullets. Doesn't have range. So now, if you rode that leverage trade and you're at 35x, I mean, let's see how we're looking, because I know that's where we're sitting this morning. 30-minute breaking down. I would probably cash your win out right now and then reassess the situation when it comes farther down. Like, that's what I would do. Because why give it all back? Or more. Why give it all back and more? So, I mean, you guys, and we're going to talk about this deeper, so we'll talk about it a little deeper and look at it this way. Let's say you started with a small amount of money. And now all of a sudden it throws. But I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't even want to keep talking about the leverage side, because this is just going to give people the ability to do it, because they're going to be like, oh, he's giving me step-by-step guidance. But still, 4 hour, I don't really think we're ready to just all of a sudden break down. I still feel like, although we are at the death cross resistance, but this would be the area where most would think we're just going to go and break down. RSI still looks fine in the daily. 4 hourly still got plenty of room. It's just stochastic is more sensitive and it's up there a little bit. 2 hourly, I mean, I don't really like to pay attention to the 2 hourly when we're in the rally form. So I'd rather just, we're at the 2 hour resistance. What makes the most sense? So I go into the chart that I think makes the most sense. We came up to this resistance. I still think we're gonna, it's kind of funny that it rounded just like we talked about yesterday. Right at that exact point. Like, that's what we were thinking, it would round like that. But that was just, That was just going into where it hadn't even gone yet. We were just like, oh, it'll do something. It could, because we were thinking it could bounce off. I think there was a, where's this higher time frame support? I remember going through this yesterday.
These are popular segments. They're growing more popular by the day.
I don't know. We're trying to do something, but the weekly is what gets me. Like, I am somebody who likes to buy the weekly stochastic when it's oversold. Like, I don't really care about anything else. I don't look at the monthly except to see if it's more towards a neutral range when this hits weekly. But I'm somebody who always looks to start buying when the stochastic's oversold in the weekly, especially when it's pushed in there for a couple weeks. And we've been sitting in that area. Looking across the board just a little bit. Linea had a drop down a little bit here, down 2.68%. We're still looking at this pattern setup because for me personally, I hold Linea. And my whole structure here is have it, unless it shows me it's going to break down this lower support. And right now we got plenty of room to watch this play out. If it breaks this structural support, then I'm like, you know, I love you. Had you at 009, did some things for copy to get back in it. So now it's, I don't know, just playing the structure still. And if you break the 1449, just going to keep that money. And if it shows me a break, 1453 in current times, if it breaks through there, I'll sell it. Watch the next support structure, which if it broke this, I already know where it's going to be. You all know where it's going to be too. If it plays true on a breakdown, which again, I'm not convinced it's going to break down until it breaks down. That's why I haven't taken all the profit that was there. Even though if you're copy trading me, you're like, profit! We're down like 2.5%. Well, congratulations. You joined in on the trade after because I had to sell mine and buy back and work it out. This is how trading works. Get used to having large losses before they turn into gains. Especially, well, not large losses, but just proportionately it's not large. But to some, it might sound like a lot depending on which category you're in. Because if you're in the $100 category, somebody trading in thousands is going to make it seem like a lot to you. If you're trading in the thousands and somebody's trading in the 5 digits, it's going to sound like a lot to you. If you're in the 5 digits and somebody's trading in the 6, it's always going to sound different. So it's all, and plus, you have to try to find, do you think we're in a bear market? Do you think we're in a bull market? And I could see this market rolling over just as easily as I can see it popping out. But I'm still being defensive in this part of the market, only because there's such profits already on the table just from the recent lows. So, and then it would drop down and retest right around the 00895. I don't know if that's the plan, because in my opinion, just like XRP, this really should come up here and retest the structural breakdown after going to support. Because now we can start building a pattern resistance and support area. Like it really should come up there to validate the resistance. Because now we got a whole bunch of new people down here at 009. And the way the structure is set up, that's not technically a... It's... only because of how it is, I'll say it's a neutral continuation pattern. But typically, if I seen this, and I'm only saying neutral continuation because of the market dynamic going into next week, because I don't know if they'll drop the market again before the next parabolic spike, you know, going into, you know, the rate cut. And Trump with China, how I think when they're in the Korea, when they have the summit next on the 31st of the 1st or 2nd, it seems to me they're setting it up for a deal. It really does. So, and something caught the attention before we continue this conversation. Something caught the attention of gold this morning and silver. Gold was getting killed this morning. And when I say killed, it looked like it was down the road of beaten paths again. It was down here and it was getting hammered. Like you're talking about at some point today, it was down to 4,000. What was it at the ultimate level? 4,044. And right now it's at 4,134. So you're talking gold was down better than $80 an ounce today.
Companies are starting to see more stress on repossessions. That's not the case at Forward. We tend to have the highest end customers because of our prices. But that's on everyone's mind right now and a key focus for us.
So, but anyhow, I'm reading through some of the comments. It's funny, but something got the attention of gold. Gold had an $85 reversal this morning, and I did something crazy. I've been watching as they go down, and instead of selling, I did something crazier. I said every 20% on B2 Gold. I've switched my logic. I said every 20% on the way back down, I'm gonna buy. So I'm gonna start buying on the way back down when everybody's selling. So down here would be 27. I actually did buy, believe it or not, that little wick down because I seen it under $5 and I bought some. And I already have a large amount of B2 Gold, but I think it's extremely undervalued. And I still think gold and silver is going higher in the end. So we might find a 30% or 40% correction in the mining stocks. That is what it is. Bomb foolery. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to pay off not just selling it, because you take and we would be in the under 1 year category because we bought all these in January and then beyond. So you're paying the capital gains hit still. So inside of 1 year. So I don't think it makes sense to sell it and have to pay 35% base, or maybe up to 45, 50 to, well, not 50, but it gets higher the more you make. So, but generally you're looking at 30, 35%, unless you're on the low end of the income spectrum. Then I think it can get down to like 15. No, not in the short term though. I think it's 25. It gets dicey. But anyhow, but we're just in a crazy spot right now. So the whole point here is with Linea is that if it breaks out to the top side, you'd start seeing that push back up to resistance. If it breaks to the bottom side, we would simply, like what I do is I let go of it. I'm on TOOBIT. I don't have to pay these extraordinary fees. You know, there's no KYC. So when I do my taxes and send all my profits, I send it to an exchange and pay the profit or pay the taxes on everything that I cash out. So that's the tier 1 exchanges. So I still get hit very heavily when I go to take the profits. It's just, I like the freedom of the no KYC because that's what crypto was made for. So, but at the end of the day, you still got to pay at the end. So anybody who thinks they're just sneaking out on taxes, you're really not. You might even pay more because you're going to make more if you have a different philosophy. I just, never mind. That's above a lot of people's heads. So, but yeah, I could certainly see still this entire market breaking down, coming down for Bitcoin, that gap, as we talked about yesterday, just because we have these short-term pushes, you know, and we get excited, that's not the end-all be-all. Like, this isn't the end-all be-all here. Like, we didn't just all of a sudden change the dynamic of everything. It's just, right now, we're trying to find that pressure, I feel like, to get... So if we're going to 92 and XRP is going to $1.77 to $1.82 range, I'm pretty sure we're going to need that upward liquidity at that 266 tap. It just feels like that to end up having to warrant a drop like that. But if we got outside of this, and make no mistake about it, if somehow, some way, this is a bull flag, and it's pretty ironic how this will work out, we would start heading back up towards that 381 tap again. Because remember, when you hit the bottom of a broadening wedge, it's time to go to the top. And on a broadening wedge, you only need 2 hits of support, 2 hits of resistance. And we legitimately, and it depends what chart you're on, because I don't want to go all the way down here to 77 cents like Binance is, because that's just tomfoolery that happened. I'd rather stay within the scope of the exchange that happened, you know, that makes more sense. Which exchange was it? We had it out here. I mean, it still makes sense, but the tap of the broadening wedge. So wedge, 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 wedge. So now it makes sense to come back up to 381. But it makes it so hard because Binance just had the biggest tomfoolery, go fuck yourself moment, where it's we're liquidating everybody from 2x and beyond. This exchange had a little more grace. It only went down into the $1.50s range. But the best one, I think, which one was it? This one? Yeah, this one went to $1.16. So I have a lot of respect for this one. The $1.16, only because of the way that it's in between the 80 or 77 cents and the $1.51. So I use this one. So now you look at it and we're like, what does that mean over the top? Well, if over time it comes over the top, and it's exactly why I use the Binance one because I already have it set up. 386. What do we have on the Binance one? 381. So I like the lower number anyhow. But look how we have this one set up perfectly. And I still didn't acknowledge this wick. I only acknowledged the broadening wedge support 1, support 2, support 3, support 4. Resistance 1, resistance 2. Hey, it looks like we're looking for a tap up here at some point. Like, hey, we're getting a little lonely up here at that 380 tap again. Little lonely up there. So, I'm not nervous about, for some reason, I'm oddly calm about this market, and it makes me a little nervous. That the last time I was this oddly calm was back in November, right before that fucking crazy breakout. Oddly calm. And it's like, can I be honest? I want it to go down. Even though I'm heavily involved in the market, I want it to go down. Even for Linea, I hate that you guys are copying and I want this to happen. I want to be able to sell Linea and buy it back at 008 because we go from 200,000 tokens to almost 350,000 on the drop if it went there. So, and then it's going to go up anyhow after. So I want as many tokens as I can get for the audience without having to put any more money in. But look how oversold we are in the daily. Eventually this isn't going to keep happening. So we're just taking advantage and trying to see if we can, if anything develops further. And I think it's really cool that some of you are in the trade. I think there's maybe 7 to 9 people. So you can see how it works. And you can see the philosophy. And you can see just the way that I look at things. Bitcoin's fighting with the 110. Right now we're consolidating to see if we're going to continue this move for XRP. Trying to build a bigger base. Could even drop to like 244-ish. Trying to see if we can get a bigger base to not only break out to 264, but we need to get over that 252 level. Because that would confirm our breakout over 250 in this pattern we're set up in. Which is some kind of pennant. Lower highs, higher lows is a pennant. I think it's right now a neutral continuation because we have no fucking clue. Because it dropped so hard and then formed an upward. But it's still, you know, we're trying to see if we can still ladder our way down in Bitcoin to 92K. What's the logic? Or can we ladder down to that $1.77 to $1.82 liquidity zone for XRP? How do we get there? I think it would create a pretty crazy dynamic if Bitcoin did come up with XRP and we went to that 265. Bitcoin came up and retested again. And would that be fucking crazy if Bitcoin just stayed here? What if Bitcoin did do something like this? Think about this. Because we're going into a crazy season. What if we did this to play out October? And then all of a sudden we did one of these. And then everybody went and cried to their mother. Actually, it would be more like, it would be quicker though. It'd be more like this. It'd be one of these. Hey guys, Trump looks like he's making it. Oh no, he's not. You know, like, hey, we're having the meeting. We got rate cuts. This looks great. We get a rate cut. Crypto's pumping. And then they blame it on Trump, but he says, trade war continues. Yep. Hey guys, a miracle happened. We had a miracle trade. You know, I could see something like that.
When your home title's stolen, the burden's on you to prove the fraud. That means hiring a lawyer and starting legal proceedings. Sounds expensive. Okay, enough. I'm getting home.
It'd be interesting if we did something like that because this would exit the liquidity. Everybody would be feeling good. Everybody would be long. Everybody, even retail. Oh my God, here it is. Yes. Tom said November. Oh, fucking A. How did we get to mid-November way down here? Like, I could see it because I think I could see it. But I don't know. We got to create, I feel like we got to create this liquidity gap up here to form it back down here because we have a big gap. Nice inverse head and shoulders. But again, they could be using the trading analogy with an inverse setup to just make us feel a little comfortable and then just, you know, and right before rate cuts. So, good morning. 10:54 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, October 24th, 2025. Only 1 week until Halloween. Damn it, I don't want to take all the decorations down because I love Halloween. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I commend the 101 of you who have stayed. I fear for the 25 that have left during that conversation, in all honesty. Walking into the abyss, walking into the unknown, when it's all right out here in front of us. I love having this IoT chart, or the IOTA chart below that shows 2.5 because that's in the past. It always takes a while to catch up, and the one in real time, see how it dropped? Corrective in the morning. It's kind of ironic how it always happens when the USA wakes up. We take our shower, we're at work, we're like, hey, okay, the market's up a little bit. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then by the time we get done showering, get our routine and get the kids off at school, hit the gym, do whatever you got to do for your workout, if you do one. And by the time you get back and you're like, well, what the hell? Wasn't Bitcoin at 111? Is that 109 I'm seeing in front of it again? Why does this always happen when I wake up and I start to... It's all by design. And then it corrects. And then we decide what we're going to do. And magically, right around 11:30, 11:15, 11:45, when everybody goes to take their lunch break, they start to see some kind of, as in a miracle almost, a little bit of influx that seems like it could be in our favor. Then by the time they get back into work, and they drink their coffee, take their piss. Some people like to take the shit at work after they eat their lunch. They come back out and they're like, well, God darn it. Every time I have a free chance to look at the charts, they look like they're going up. But by the time I go back to look at them again, I'm down. It's a good design they have. Apparently, apparently people are not happy with my talk this morning because they are leaving. But that's okay. That's okay. I encourage you to join TOOBIT as well in the high times of volatility. It was there. Lowest fees that I can find now outside of BitUnix. Well, it's actually the same as BitUnix. But it's the same as BitUnix, but we have more leverage there. So it's just one of those things. We try to stay ahead of the exchanges that aren't tier one so that we have the opportunity to trade, because tier one exchanges are synonymous and notorious for going down and having terrible pricing in the high times of volatility. You know which one is still? Kraken, if you have Kraken Pro. I'm going to be honest. I did a few tests during these high times of volatility, and I am stunned right now. I talked about it the other day. When I sold out the XDC and everything, I did XDC, band, and dent. I sold it out during the high times of volatility, waited for it. I think there was a 6 or 7% pullback. Let it consolidate and look like it was going to come back. Rebought it back. Got the exact same amount of tokens, and I ended up having a few $100s there on the side, and I could not believe it. Because if I would have done that on Crypto.com, I would have been down like a couple thousand. And I'm like, I don't understand what just happened here. And if you pay the monthly, like, you're legitimately saving. Like, I seen it firsthand now, and I'm like, holy fuck. Like, that's a legitimate tier one exchange that I can use if I'm doing the pro version. Crypto.com can give me the pro version all they want. They can shove it up their ass. I'll use them for their crypto Visa debit card. But you guys will understand once you start using Crypto.com. They try to do this overreach of information. But it's not just that. It's just their pricing is god-awful. It's comparable to Uphold. You can't trade on their platform. Horrible. I hold Crypto.com there. The crypto Visa debit card, so I hold the CRO token like 35,000 and counting, but I send it from other exchanges when I bought it at 8 or 9 cents. But with rewards, it's been higher pricing. I think I bought some at 14 as well and sent it to the exchange. And the not so distant past when we had this big back dump down. I know a lot of people get afraid, but I don't know. I don't get afraid. I get afraid when we're top heavy and there's a lot of liquidity below. We got a lot of liquidity above. So we have the right catalyst that are building right now. A few weeks ago, we had the wrong catalyst building. Now we have confirmed quantitative tightening ending. To the point JP Morgan has to come out and say, I believe quantitative tightening is ending, because they have to put it out there. They just don't put it out there. You have to search for it. So let me say hi to some of you. Let me say hi to some of you. Well, most of you. Probably all of you. I'd like to say hi to everybody. I really want to have a phone call about the market dynamics right now and just have a conversation deeper so everybody can hear the inner working of somebody in retail. But I got to trust you, and I got to see somebody who's making sense, and that sounds like they want to do it. Crypto Cooter, welcome in, and thanks for being in town for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. Still trying to figure out which live it was, the last phone call, because it took them 4 days to upload my live to where I could actually download it, which was ridiculous. By design, I assure you. Sola Jeffy, welcome in along with Scotty Trades. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 2nd month with the Dusty Zados Crypto News. Me too, Scotty Trades. I am one of those nerds as well. Everybody's like, what are you doing on your phone? I'm like, working. I'm always on my phone looking at something. Usually the charts, or putting some of my content to good use. Or I'm looking for an anomaly in sports betting because they're there. And by the way, speaking of Chauncey Billups in sports betting, Mr. Big Shot himself leading us to our last title for the Pistons in 2004. Indicted by the FBI, amongst a few others, for a sports gambling ring. He's a current head coach in the NBA. And led by the Mafia, nonetheless, which he is gangster. I can believe it. So it's kind of a interesting thing what's going on there with my former Piston. Mr. Big Shot. Finals. I think he was the finals MVP too, Mr. Big Shot. Even though it should have been Ben Wallace. Mrs. Stott and James, welcome in, and thanks for being in town for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Yes, they talked about oil yesterday, almost like they watched my show. Let's see, and thanks for being a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram, Mr. Cooter. He says, announcement, Tom's Army is now massively oversold in the monthly. There is no other asset with similar returns. I agree. Just if you were paying attention from yesterday to today, you could have done well. Or not. Oversold on the RSI. I just need more and more repetition of things to say. Yes, you do, Mrs. Stott. And it will, trust me. That's how it stuck with me. I'm an idiot. So if I can do it, you can do it. I don't care about, like, I'm an idiot when it comes to, like, the normal, the faux pas. Like, if 9 out of 10, if everybody in front of you is doing something, I'm pretty oblivious to what's going on. If they're doing things in the real world, like what the news tells them to do and all this stuff, I couldn't care less about it. I tune it out. But what I am good at is I build repetition in what real money is, finance. I pride myself on being my own economist, my own banker, my own vault, or so to say, my own emerging markets. I have my own fund here. I have my own precious metal dealership. I have my own crypto reserves. I have my own IOUs, which is what I needed to earn to get real money, which was the US dollar. So I sold my time to get some cash, a lot of time in my 41 years. But it's allowed me to build the principle that now have my own precious metals reserve, to have my own crypto reserves, to have my own emerging market reserves, to have a cash on hand reserves, to have phony money or cash in the bank, only $2,000 to $3,000 at any time. I've allowed myself a portfolio of commodities, which will now expand soon into oil. I've been talking about it. We're not quite there yet because they will pull our nuts out and drop it on the table one more time with a sledgehammer. They do it every time in the cycle, just like they did with commodities in January. I said, oh, nope. Because they did it after the new year. And that's when I said, oh, this is the time. Just like with crypto, they always tell you, oh, you think, oh, nope. And then they cut us in half, but like 65%. So by staying to these same fundamentals, being my own economist, being my own financial advisor, being my own financial planner, being my own budgeter, it's allowed me to pay off my house. So that you think a lot different when you don't have a house note, don't have a car note, don't have credit card debt, don't have any debt. So you think different. You know, you start, that's what I pride myself on. When I see everybody else, I see it on Facebook, all my friends that I went to high school with, and I can never just go on my regular portfolio. The only reason I go on there is there's somebody from my cousin, the Crook side, that their little one has muscular dystrophy, Riot, hashtag Riot, RYETT, hashtag Riot. And they did a walk for him in September every single day. So I did it every day, and I continue to do it every day. So I post in there every single day. I'm the only person now, I think. But I said I'm going to walk for Riot every single day. You know, so that's my commitment. So I go on there to do that, and then I see all these jabronis that are talking about blah, blah, blah. Oh, did you see this? Did you see that? It's like, did you... All these people that think they're righteous with their movements and all this nonsense and their racial stereotyping, and I got news for you. White and black people equally just as guilty and equally just as innocent if you put them in the same environment. It's the same shit. Same thing with the rich and poor. You put them in the same equal bladdering, we act the same. Okay, so put us in but you can build yourself into the upper standing by not falling victim to the lower settings. I was in the lower setting most of my life. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You're eating peanut butter and jelly. You get milk, bread, eggs, and butter, and potatoes. Like my mom taught me. Potato, bread, peanut butter, milk is basically it. You could live off of it. And then you got to find meat somewhere. So, and she would always buy like the pot roast or the pork with but anyhow, the point is, you don't have to say, oh, this is just what I'm defined by. You can work your way out of it. It took a long time. So now my next generation behind me, if I do it right, for my son and beyond, and Julie's kids, well, mine by definition, stepkids, that I've been with for 11 years, they won't have to worry about it down the road. Oh, they're going to have to struggle still, because, well, maybe not. Well, Tommy's going to struggle in his own way. He's autistic and he's nonverbal and stuff, but... You know, so anyhow, but you can build a dynamic, and we're still building that dynamic because I'm not even close to finishing the dynamic. But we have to be these for ourselves. We can't depend on a financial advisor because then we get lazy. I tell my dad all the time, I can't believe you still let these people manage your money when I do this myself. I asset manage my own money. And then, it's just a whole big funny thing. Dad, if you want me to invest you in the FANG stocks, I can do that without the fee, okay? If you're watching. Sometimes he stumbles in here. Of course, I'm going to have to take a 0.5% fee from you since, you know, you're willing to give 3 or 4 or whatever it is. Anyhow, in my father's kitchen. Good morning, Tom. It's going to be a great day. The Lord is with us. Thank you for all your technical support, your insight, and your heart to help guide as we move forward together. Absolutely. Absolutely, and we're fighting to stay green here today, which is nice. Ethereum's fighting at that 3,900 level, which is good. We had this little backbreaker test, which is good. I'm still interested to see what spooked gold a little bit, to just have a little bit of a buy up. That was weird. Because I really wanted it to come down to that uptrend, but if it wants to make a new high first, that's fine, because something spooked it in a big way. Now we came back up to that retest area I talked about, but we should be more efficient. I know I had it at 4,125, but it really should be here now. And now we tapped it, and we talked about that before yesterday. But 4,116, if it holds it, it'd be interesting here, but it does look more like a bearish setup there, but it really did something. It was interesting the way it happened. It's not just because I thought we were going to have the retest. It was just funny how right when like the CPI, it's just funny how all this plays. So predictably. The crypto fear and greed index this morning sitting at a ripe 30. Is it 30 or is it a little bit lower? Okay, I guess it is 30. Yesterday it was at 27. Last week it was at 22 and nobody blinked. In retail, well, not a lot of people. We start looking at the Bitcoin liquidity map because we're going to continue to build lower liquidity if we look out on the 6 monthly now, which is what we're trying to do, I believe, to make it worth coming down to 92. And I believe every time we come up, it creates a little bit more. There's not a lot of liquidity, though. 320, 400. You can see it's gapped in here. A lot of liquidity. We came through here and cleared some out. Let's see what's up here. I mean, it's similar up here at 126, so it's really interesting here. If we went to 126 first, we would create a shitload of liquidity at 92 on Bitcoin. I promise you. If we go back up to 126, there's going to be so much liquidity at 92 that it almost wouldn't make sense to go back down there after. Unless we just blow through 126. But there's going to be an enormous amount of liquidity down there if we do. Let's go into the monthly. Let's get outside of here. Actually, fuck it. Let's go in the yearly. Let's see what we built in the yearly. I like looking at the outward game. But I like to sit in the monthly, mostly in these heat maps. Not all of them go out in the yearly like Bitcoin, as you'll unfortunately find out. Da 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 da. Hey da da da. Is it gonna load? Dun 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 dun. Does anybody know which fight song I was playing right there? Does anybody in the audience know what fight song that was? Edgar, welcome in. Eddie, good morning. Alec, Tony, Mr. Stock, good morning. And thanks for being in town during 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Trading with Jay Ride, thanks for being in town during for over 4 years with the XRP Phoenix badge. And I think you all got a preview of what the next badge is going to be. I might be using it today. I might not. It might change a little bit, but I think you know which direction the next badge is going. It's going to be a pretty interesting one. And for the first time, besides the first month badge, which is hard to see my face, you're going to get a real depiction of me. A real depiction, I tell you. Will you just show me the 6 month, God bless it, before everybody leaves? Let's see. Areli, good morning, love. I'm so glad to see you in here. As always, makes me so happy to see you in here. Dylan, good morning. Tanya, love, welcome in, and thanks for being in town for over 3 months with the over 3 years, I apologize, with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Probably our most popular member in here. And that's no offense to anybody else, but just goes with the territory. She's built quite a following around here. Tab has crashed. Are you kidding me right now? It really doesn't want me to see that liquidity zone, does it? So, damn it, this is some... Oh, we'll try it again as I say hello to everybody. Sylvia, welcome in. If it goes to 196, I would say that is the bad. No. No, not at all. 177 to $1.82 is fine. It's actually a back test that would actually make sense. What is going on with you? I guess we're not going to be able to do this. On this one, at least. That pile of shit. Hey, let's do this before it crashes out again. Come on, just show me it. I beg of you, show me. It won't show me the liquidity. It won't show us the liquidity in the 1 year. Isn't that something? Fine. That's fine. We already know the 6 month liquidity. Let's go to the 1 month. Mr. Anderson, welcome in. Vadodamus, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's running for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Craig Carlson, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's running for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Yes, smash the like button like he said. 75% of you have hit the like button already out of the amount that are in here, which is great to see. Oh yeah, a lot of people rock themselves with leverage trading, even when I tell them not to, but that's okay. Edgar even says everybody does leverage, Tom, even when you say not to. I know. Nunya, welcome in, and thanks for being in town during 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Kyle Kupiak, Cape Cod. Kyle from Massachusetts, and further expanding into Florida, as if I had foresight of that earlier on. Appreciate you for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I guess I should stay in the moment to see where Bitcoin's at since we had to wait. Okay, good. Good, Bitcoin, good. Like a good little fishy. Good. Evernorth has launched an XRP treasury to manage and lend XRP to institutions. This initiative aims to reinvest yields to acquire more XRP, potentially reducing its circulating supply. Could that be more off exchange purchases that we know about? But yeah, that's a good deal. XRP is a good deal. Not today, but it was a good deal at 34 cents. XRP was a good deal at 50 cents. I've told you once, I'll tell you again, and I'll tell you 100 times. If you buy XRP over the cents, it's a very risky hold until it makes its next move. But I feel good right now. Look at Bitcoin. Doesn't that look like an inverse head and shoulders that should bring us to 126 while everybody's shitting their pants saying it's over? And I could be wrong, but I set it at 105. I set it at 106. Set it at 103. I set it on the big drop to 101. Like, this is, it makes no sense to go down there when we're destitute. I understand that we have liquidity at 92, but why would we come through here when you've literally got some areas with 81,000 in liquidity? Honestly, it makes more sense to come up here, build the liquidity in these soft zones. Like, even if we just come up here, ladies and gentlemen, we don't even need to come all the way up to 126 is the point. We could double top right here at 116 too. That would create an enormous, and look at all that liquidity. I don't really think the market makers are just going to leave all that liquidity right there. I could be wrong. But everybody's betting on the fact that we're going down. And you can tell because look how much liquidity there is over the top. 669 million right there, 5K up. And then you come down here where the normal long trader would be to get liquidated. There ain't shit down here. And what did they do? Hey, the guy who always opens up the shorts, he's always right. Did he close his short out? I didn't see any news about that, but again, now it went up on everybody. Like $6,000, $5,000 now. And it's been a steady crawl up. Steady fucking crawl. And it's like, I see every day too. The one that disturbs me a little bit is Linnea with the audience. Except the ones who are being true to what they say. Everybody wanted to buy it up here, remember? Everybody. And we bought it here and sold the retest. Then we were able to buy it when it dropped. And this is when we first were testing the copy trade. We sold it. And then we got to retest it in here again because we reset the settings. It never worked. Well, at least people weren't. So now we're down here. So the ones who were buying it up here on their own, it was weird. Everybody wanted to buy it here. But once it came here, everybody was so afraid with this. Even so afraid. Why? I don't is it just because when it gets green, it's easier for our mind? Because it's green? Like, is that what's going on? Like, is it easier to buy today because XRP's up 3.8% rather than yesterday at 239? If you're making a short trade even for the short term, not a short, but a short term or a long term. I don't understand. Like, I do, but my market psychology changed over the years, and now I'm so far away from where I used to think like that now I get confused. Like, I know I was like that because I'm an idiot. And I'm only not an idiot after I get repetition, a lot of repetition. Which is also why I don't like to talk about anything until I get lots of repetition. So I don't know. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even sure what the point is, but the point is the market psychology was all right. Everybody's aimed at the downward. If it was that easy and every Tom, Dick, and Harry could come out as an influencer at $2.29 or $2.18 or what was it down? And saying, oh, it's topped when it started down here. Oh, it topped. We're at 220. It's like it topped. Yeah, you should have said that in January when we actually did fucking top. Or an XRP in July. Like, why don't we talk about the real topping areas? Now we very well might have bottomed, and everybody's afraid. It's so great. I love it. Oh, yeah. That doesn't mean there can't be another hard 30% drop. But what I'm saying is you should feel better today than you have in 9 months. Well, not better today than 9 months. You should be better today than you were before the drop. You should feel, the best you should have felt was during that liquidity wick when I said, guys, have all your liquidity that you could possibly imagine on the sidelines for this drop. And if you had money there, I know a lot of people that are like me that are sitting on things right now that they still can't believe are up where they're at. Like the one that I still can't believe I'm sitting on IOTA now from 8.5 cents. And I know it could come down. Actually, it's, yeah, that trade happened and allowed me, or should I just say, I can't believe I'm sitting on 80,000 tokens. How about that? Because I had 40 and I didn't add any money. So just what happened on that drop, just getting out of the way at 17 cents was a miracle for me. It was a miracle. So, because oh man, it was a miracle. Just think of it. You know, that's the one that it told me like, hey, you know what you're talking about here, and you were willing to get rid of this for a minute, and then this happened. So don't overthink things. So now it's like, why would I even care? I got double of what I had, even if it did come back down. Now you can't do anything with IOTA till it breaks around that 12-cent mark, and then if you want to try that game again, you can. But it's a dicey game in between. And hey, if you want to show your gratitude, join Tom's Army. We're losing members by the month, ironically, even though we get gifted memberships. The actual paid members that are renewing has dropped from 3 from last month, which to me I just find bizarre. Because we were out in front of that big drop. So I don't understand why less people would be subscribed to Tom's Army than before that extraordinary drop when I told everybody to have liquidation ready or to have capital ready because we're about to have a big drop. And I was preaching it for weeks, if not months. And then people just, you know, that's why the pay it forward mentality is nice, because I could put a paywall up, but what's the point? That's ingenuine in itself. And there's a lot of people that are still part of Tom's Army, so I really appreciate that a lot. And a lot to me might not be a lot to you, but it's a lot to me. So today we had around 245 we opened, got up to 251, back down to 245.4, closed. Oh, that was 1020. Yeah, that's. So we'll see how we end up. Over the top, I still would like to see them extend this out to the 6 monthly, but they won't for XRP. But anyhow, in the monthly, you can see there is no, like, look, we talked about the gap area for a long time, folks. A long time, and we cleared that gap, and we came down to $1.13 is what they go by. Notice they didn't go by the, well, I mean, they didn't go by the Binance one, but we have no liquidity down here. What sense does it make to come back down here? I keep saying this. I feel like a broken fucking record at this point. But I've called for that drop to $1.50 for so fucking long. To be honest, a lot of people criticize me in my very own audience. I kept saying this, it was reminiscent of 2023 again, when my own audience was kind of against me. When I was telling everybody to buy when we went back to quantitative tightening. Or ended quantitative tightening, went to easing, and they announced a rate cycle coming of cutting instead of raising. I'm like, oh my God. We've been out of this since 2021 besides our back and forth trades, which I didn't even trade XRP by principle. I just did other tokens. Had a couple good years too. And then in 23 when I begged everybody to buy and it was the bottom, nobody would buy. They all mocked me. Hey, it's going under 20 cents. But it's like, come on. We hit 28 cents. We're on the uptrend. The uptrend is very clearly holding for all these years, and it held again. And now we've got the right condition. Now it's like, come on, guys, pay attention to me. We're about to have a big dump. And I kept saying it, guys, there's no volume. We're way overbought in the weekly, month. It don't matter where you look. We're going to drop hard. And I'm like, guys, pay attention to me. We had the big dropout, and there's no liquidity. And, you know, there's good opportunity. I don't care if everybody said not to buy the rise back up, and now we're up 80, 90, 100% on our assets again from just the drop. And it's like, hey, guys, pay attention. There's no liquidity down here on XRP. Lots of liquidity up over the top, though, in comparison. Look at this. Look at all the liquidity in comparison. You come down here and you're talking about thousands of dollars in liquidity. Does it make sense to come down here, build the liquidity back down here to come up here first? That's a question I can't answer because I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried, and I try. But then I get people come in here. Blockchain Becker says it's down from here. How's that working out for everybody, huh? Then you guys tell me that the big business and what do I call them? BCB. Business or big corrupted business. Yeah, that's good. Big corrupted business. But anyhow, didn't he tell everybody not to buy because it was going down and he sold? You guys came in here and told me day after day when he said it. I don't know. It doesn't look like, kind of looks like we had a lot of profit to be made there, even if we get rejected up at 265 or so. I'm just saying. That's why when everybody talks to me about that crap in here, I'm always like, who? The guy who cost people 99% in 22 and 21 when he said we could go nowhere but up? The guy who told us not to buy in 23? The guy who said we topped out? Where does the list end? But yet that's who I'm compared to most. That guy. Why? Have I not done enough? Like some asshole mocked me this morning in my own comment and said, oh, my charts are always wrong. You know, and I loved it because I actually wrote it out for the first time and actually seen it on paper. And I can rehearse it now. 21 called the bottoming area when I was on here and said accumulate here because we're about to break out. Called the top in 21. Called the bottom in 23. Called the top in 25. Also called that drop in 25 in the rebuy where we could buy. Called the low in gold and silver in 22 and the bottom of miners in 25 in January. It's like, in what planet are we living on where all of a sudden I'm in the wrong all the time? It's like I got to build all this credibility and I don't know how else to do it besides just coming on and being like, hey, we got to be consistent. Positivity over negativity. Who cares what everybody else says? They're all sitting there and broke. Every single person that we get compared to, their communities are 90% on sale. The only reason the influencer is making money is because they promote so much stuff that they're getting paid to do it. I can't do that because I'm not getting paid to promote stuff. I've been very honest. I make like 2,000. This month looks like a good month on YouTube because there were some gifted subs. So I might make $2,500 this month on YouTube. You know, so, but that's from my work. That's from the ad revenue, which is very small. And mainly the people in Tom's Army. The YouTube super chats and Tom's Army members have given me 85% of my revenue on YouTube. 15% has come from ad revenue. 0% has come from paid sponsorships or paid advertisements or any of that crap. I've never been paid to advertise anything, and I never will. And if I do, you know I've jumped the shark. The only thing I would advertise, if I ever get these bionic legs, I'm dead serious. You'll have to see me do it because it's helping me. If I ever make this and I don't even get anything for it, but you'll see me advertise it anyhow. If I buy this thing because I've got fucked up knees and hips from accidents, I'm still fine. And my back was broken when I was 23. And my only hope was we would have hover cane. And now I see there's like a hover shoe. And my whole idea was that there was a cane that you would hold and it would levitate you just inches off the ground so you would lose the feeling of compression on your body. And then you just hit the button forward and you'd move forward, backward, side to side. It's a really fucked up thing, but I think it will happen. Or we'd have the exoskeleton style suit. Because I used to see it in things when I was a kid. They'd show you the guy. Anyhow, they've come out with something. It's in beta. And I could buy it for $1,100. And this one, it literally hooks up to you like an exoskeleton from your hip and down. And it supports your back, your hips, your knees. And it takes off 45% of the stress load. Now imagine if you're older, if you haven't been able to walk and you're in a wheelchair for a long, it literally does the stepping for you at a certain percentage. So if you're just weak or whatever, osteoporosis, think of what it could do. So yeah, you might have to hear me talk about that and watch me do it if I ever buy it because it would help me. Or if I ever get glasses, because they're working on the technology right now where you have them on. So I'd have my prescription lens and then it zooms in. It zooms in and they're working on it right now. There's a beta test right now. I can't buy it. It's in a different country. Those are the kind of things you'd have to see me promote. The things for the greater good for myself and for anybody else who suffers from, like, I have keratoconus and I have a lifetime fracture in my back with herniations and disc degeneration and all this bullshit. Spinal stenosis from it, all this crap. But that's the kind of stuff I would promote. But that hasn't even been invented yet. They're working on it for the glasses, and the exoskeleton is just now finally hitting the cutting edge. And I've told everybody I'm young enough. By the time I'm in my 60s, I'm gonna have a way better life. But we're gonna have to have the funds to be able to buy this better life. $1,100 ain't fucking cheap.
This is Mom and Gary's house.
Or is it? It's one good recognition of a chart. Somebody in my audience I know is sitting here and made some money yesterday. A lot of people, actually. And that's how you do it. That's what you would have to do. You'd have to do things like that. But there's also a lot of people that lost a lot of money, and that's the reality of what's happening. The bond, 10 years under 4%. Hi, Mimi. Good timing, because I'm about to end my live. But hey, guys, this is a good time because Julie's mom's here. It's been over an hour. But continue to watch charts. Think about everything we've talked about. I encourage you to join Tom's Army. No new members or no super chats or anything like that today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, as we've been stuck at 47,100 plus area for a while. And share this. Don't fear the market when everybody fears it. Embrace it. Embrace this market. I'll be back tonight, hopefully.